So how are you doing so far? A little nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
awkward at first.
Yeah.
So as I'm working with you, I'm really going to be wanting to hear your story, what's really important to you, and I could just tell by the way you were making a few comments at the table already that you feel really just a real strong connection with Emily,
Yeah.
and you're feeling a little protective.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, she has serious allergies, food allergies, and he doesn't take that seriously at all. He doesn't go grocery shopping.
Here, Emily. And we're going to be talking about parenting time and having Dan have time with Emily.
Mhm.
So let's back up a little bit and tell me a little bit about you and Dan and the times that you really feel like you and Dan have been able to work together in any way having to do with Emily. What's that like for you to try to work with Dan?
Now, I mean, it can't really say much to him at all. You know, we pretty much don't communicate.
So you feel pretty limited in your communications right
I
now.
mean, you know, if I say something, then he just zones out, and then that's the end of it.
So you get a little bit of shutdown from
Yeah,
Dan.
absolutely.
So can you think of a time, even years ago, when you and Dan had a good conversation about anything?
I mean, when we first met, we were, you know, sophomores in college.
Okay.
And, you know, it's like any love story type of thing, you know. We, you know, dated here, dated there, met up a few times, and, I mean, yeah, things were great. He, you know, his career started taking off, and I got pregnant. It was.
So did you get a sense that you were really able to listen to Dan when you were making that decision and he was able to listen to you?
I think so. I mean, for the most part, you know,
You
I was
felt heard.
working as an LPN, and but it didn't bother me to take a step back and let my career go to the side for the next several years until she got into school, and then, you know, we started the next chapter.
So
I mean,
that's
it
a good
wasn't until
example.
he got involved with that woman at work that, you know, all of this is starting to happen.
Everything changed at
Yeah.
that point.
I mean, we've been together for 10 years, and then it just fell apart and fell apart.
Noticed about yourself and what you brought to that interaction with Dan that helped you be successful.
Well, I think I tried to support him a lot in what he was doing in his career-wise and things like that. And, you know, went to functions with them together. We still had, you know, we still got together occasionally for date nights and things like that. And we tried to keep the relationship, you know, at least we tried to bond every once in a while type of thing.
So your relationship has changed a lot. Obviously, you and he are not going to have that same type of interaction. And when you get into a co-parenting situation, if the conflict is high, that's a time to really think of it like a business relationship where you have a clear-cut decision to make.
Yeah.
And instead of bringing everything with it that you probably brought when you were together,
Yeah.
we can just think of it in terms of your absolute bottom line needs for Emily, as well as your need to know that you can really trust Dan with her medical situation. But you mentioned the word support, and I really want to point that out as a strength, to be able to listen to him and take into consideration what he's saying. That probably really helped you make the decision when you were together. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And did you get a sense that Dan is responsive to you when it feels a little bit more supportive to him?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I'm sure he doesn't feel like he's being attacked.
So we're going to be looking for ways in this process to be very clear with what your interests are, be very clear with what's important to you and what you believe is essential to take really good care of Emily, and see if we can do that in a way that still feels supportive for Dan. Because if he's shutting down, this process is just so much more difficult.
Right.
And I think in the long run, you're going to see that this process can really model a way for you and Dan to make co-parenting decisions going forward,
Okay.
even after Deb and I are out of the picture.
Okay.
So even just the way you're responding to me now, you're making eye contact, you're nodding, it really looks like you're taking in what I'm saying. And I just wonder if that type of interaction, I want you to really understand and trust that I have your back.
Okay.
And I'm not going to let that happen.
Okay.
Yeah. That helps you breathe right there,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
does.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So I'm going to really be paying attention to the cues I get from you
Okay.
as to when you feel like, wow, he's making some points and I'm not feeling like I'm getting to be heard.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure that I help create some opportunities for you to say what you have to say as well.
Okay.
And remember that you